Oh, wise Matikanefukukitaru sensei, can you please tell me if my YouTube channel will be successful?
占って信ぜましょう。救いはないのですか？今日です。
horse shit!
Born on May 22nd, 1994, Matikanefukukitaru was put up for auction 1 year after his birth. He was bought by Masuo Hosokawa for about 16 million yen. Hosokawa loves to attach the prefix Machikane to all of his horses in remembrance of his birthplace, Osaka Prefecture. Machikane comes from the Machikane crocodilidae fossil discovered on Osaka University grounds. The fossil is housed at Machikaneyama Museum. Initially, Hosokawa was having a tough time coming up with a name for his horse, and eventually opened it up to public opinion. Out of 9,000 suggestions,
It's over 8,000!
he settled on the proverb Warau karo niwa fukukitaru, which translates to good fortune comes to the home of those who smile. Hosokawa used this phrase to name two of his horses, Machikane Warau Karo and Machikane Fukukitaru. However, due to the International Convention of Horse Racing and Production, or more commonly known as the Paris Convention, Machikane Fukukitaru's name had to be rewritten as Matikane Fukukitaru, due to the 18-character limit, which includes spacing for horse registration. Similarly, Machikane Tenhoiza is another horse from the same owner that had to slightly rewrite their name. Like most horses, Fukuchan comes from a long ancestral line of racehorses. Fukukitaru's mother was Athena Tosho, and known to be a terrible parent since she had a horrible temper and frequent mood swings. Athena Tosho would often kick, bite, and injure her foals. Although Fukukitaru was hyper-aware of his mother's temperament and mannerisms, he would cuddle up to her as close as possible in order to avoid being kicked. If he ever noticed a decline in her mood, Fukuchan would immediately run off to the foal stable and hide. Staff at Shinsei Ranch said Fukukitaru displayed great intellect for these actions. The anime also portrays Fukukitaru's wisdom by having many of the Tracing Academy students seek guidance through his fortune-telling whenever they needed advice. Furthermore, Machikane Fukukitaru uses a crystal ball for his divinations, which is considered to be an Easter egg for his father, Crystal Glitters. Crystal Glitters was a US-born horse with 2 consecutive wins in France at the G1 Hispan Prize, a 1,850-meter flat turf course. A Grade 1 race is the highest level of competition for horse racing, and winning just one can significantly impact the horse's legacy, value, and breeding potential. In 1988, 3 years after becoming a breeding stallion, Crystal Glitters was transported to Japan and eventually named as one of the top 10 leading sires, which is a ranking based on the total prize money won by his offspring. In the game, Umamusumeprettyderby, Fuku mentions he has an Onesan, which the player never gets to meet. This is a tribute to Fukukitaru's deceased older brother in real life. As a foal, the ranchers believed Fuku's brother had great potential as a racer, but fate would not allow it. He had an abnormality of his cervical spine. After several months of attempted treatment, it was decided that his condition could not be fixed, and so he was euthanized in the fall of 1991, the same year of his birth. On another note, Machikane Fukukitaru's character often references a goddess named Shiraoki that speaks to him in his dreams and directs him towards a path of great fortune. This goddess, Shiraoki, is actually Fukuchan's ancestor from 5 generations past in real life. In fact, there are 2 other Umamusume whose lineage can be traced back to Shiraoki as well. They are Special Week and Vodka. Both of them have multiple G1 victories under their reigns. All of this is to say that Fukukitaru's pedigree is full of potential. Machikane Fukukitaru had his racing debut on a 1,200-meter turf track on November 30th, 1996, 2.5 years after his birth. Unfortunately, he came in 3rd place with Shinji Fujita as his rider. It's said that Fukukitaru lost due to his difficult temper, such as running with his head held high and refusing to respond to the riding crop. I think it's safe to assume he inherited this bad temper from his mother, and his defiant nature could be because of his hostile upbringing. Fukuchan didn't fare well at his next race either, and ended up at 4th place. After his 2nd race, Fukukitaru developed a split hoof and was forced to take a break for rehabilitation. In 1997, so 3 months after the 2nd race, Machikane Fukukitaru got back on the track and entered in the Hanshin 1800-meter dirt race, with Hiroyuki Uemura on the saddle. With his hoof healed, Fukukitaru easily grabbed first place and continued to do well. He managed to claim victory at the Mooney Valley Racing Club Award, which enabled him to run in the Principal Stakes. It's here at the Principal Stakes that Fuku would race against Silent Suzuka for the first time. Their race was incredibly close, but in the end, Silent Suzuka managed to beat Fukukitaru by literally a nose. However, getting second at the Principal Stakes allowed Fukukitaru to race in the G1 Tokyo Yushun, also known as the Japanese Derby. On June 1st, 1997, 1 month after the Principal Stakes, Fuku passed the final corner of the 2400-meter Tokyo Yushun turf track, where he was only half a second behind the lead horse, Sonny Bryan. They say that the luckiest horse is the one who wins the Japanese Derby. Unfortunately for Fukukitaru, he was not the luckiest horse that day. With only 200 meters left to the finish line, all horses accelerated as best they could in the final legs of the race, but Fukukitaru was running on fumes and struggling to keep up. 5 horses passed him in the end, and his final placement was 7th. Despite coming in 7th place, some good did come from the experience of running in the Derby. Fukukitaru's trainer, Hisao Nibun, said, "I thought it was a child of crystal glitters. The legs are fast for a moment, but they stop," implying that Fuku-chan was not a stayer type like his father. Horses with high endurance and can run at a consistent pace over long distances are described as stayer types in horse racing terms. You can think of them like marathon runners. Fukukitaru was not a marathon runner. Instead, he had explosive sprinting power. Nibun-san also added, "How to use the legs will be essential." And so, a new strategy was underway for Matikanefukukitaru. From here, Fukukitaru's luck would start to turn around. Legendary jockey Yutaka Take was recruited to saddle Fuku for a brief period. He rode Fuku to victory in the Sakurambo Stakes, an ungraded race 1 month after Fuku-chan's race at the Derby. Unfortunately, Yutaka Take was called upon to ride a different horse, Sakura Laurel, in Europe. His replacement was Katsumi Minai, who is another famous jockey with 13,000 races and about 1,500 wins over the course of his career. Minai-san is well known for being the rider of Oguri Cap, the Grey Monster, during 1989. After a 2-month resting period, Matikanefukukitaru would be back on the track at the G2 Kobe Shinbun Cup. It is here, on this 2,000-meter turf track, that Fukukitaru would get his chance for revenge against the favorite to win, Silent Suzuka. After rounding the final corner with less than 400 meters to spare, Silent Suzuka was in the lead position and 10 lengths ahead of Fukukitaru. It was at this moment that Minai unleashed their new racing strategy, and Fuku's explosive sprinting ability was put on display. Fukukitaru accelerated full speed ahead and managed to pass Silent Suzuka within moments just before the finish line. Fuku even got a whole horse length ahead of Suzuka when he crossed the goal. At the time, many people believed Silent Suzuka slowed down before reaching the goal due to Hiroyuki Uemura's carelessness. He's the same rider that got Fukukitaru his first 2 wins. Regardless, Fuku's last spurt was nothing short of impressive. By overturning the race in such a staggering way, it was as if Fuku-chan just gave a giant FU to his old exes. It must have been so satisfying. 1 month after having won the first trial race for the Chrysanthemum Prize, or the Kikasho in Japanese, it was time to take on the second trial, the G2 Kyoto Shinbun Cup. Meijiro Bright, another character found in Umamusume Pretty Derby, was the favorite to win for this 2,200-meter turf track. Just as he did in the first trial, Fukukitaru stayed towards the back of the pack and shot up through the ranks during the final stretch of the race. Likewise, Meijiro Bright, who was coming from the outside, accelerated towards the front. However, it was too late. He simply could not catch up to Fukukitaru. The favorite of the day, Meijiro Bright, ended up in 3rd place, while Matikanefukukitaru had claimed his second victory in a graded race. Fukukitaru has now earned the right to race in the Kikasho 2 times for consecutively winning both trial races. Normally, you only need to win one of them. The Kikasho is a G1 3,000-meter turf course, the longest distance Fuku-chan will ever run in his entire career. Once again, Fukukitaru was not the favorite to win. The people thought he didn't have the aptitude to run long distances, since his father, Crystal Glitters, was a medium-distance runner, and his mother, Athena Tosho, lost during her attempt at the Kikasho. Fuku-chan was going to prove all these naysayers wrong. After the race started, Fukukitaru and the other horses ran at an average pace of about 1,000 meters per 68 seconds, which is a relatively slow pace, but given the distance, this was only natural. While initially in 3rd, Fuku-chan slightly slowed down and comfortably hovered around 5th place. As they approach the final corner, several horses start passing Fukukitaru, but he does not falter and keeps his pace steady. Like a cat stalking their prey, Fukukitaru waited in anticipation for his moment to strike. Finally, after everyone enters the final straight with less than 200 meters to spare, Fukukitaru emerges from the middle of the pack and tears through the other horses like Moses parting the Red Sea. One by one, Fuku-chan passes the other competitors in front of him and crosses the goal one full length ahead of the second position horse. With this victory, Matikanefukukitaru has accomplished what those in the sports industry refer to as a hat trick. Not only did he get first 3 consecutive times, but each of those wins were in a graded race, with the last one being a G1, the pinnacle of horse racing. Matikanefukukitaru's victory at the Kika Show gave Hosokawa his first and only G1 win ever over the 31 years as a horse owner. Regretfully, this would be the end of Fukukitaru's good luck. Shortly after the Kika Show, Fuku-chan developed cracked hooves for a second time, but this time he also had bulbar arthritis, which can be extremely painful and even cause lameness in some horses. Matikanefukukitaru would not race again until May 30th, 1998, almost 7 months after the Kika Show. Over the next 2 years of his racing career, Fukukitaru would go on to race 11 more times since the Kika Show, but he was never quite the same. He could not win a single race again, despite being cleared by his veterinarians. Even jockeys like Yutaka Take took up his reins, but he still could not win. Eventually, it was discovered that Fukukitaru was suffering from flexor tendonitis on his right leg that developed while training. He would be retired from racing during the summer of 2000. His last race was at the G1 Takarazuka Kinen on June 25th, 2000, where he got 8th place. His final racing career record tallies to 6 wins out of 22 races. All of his wins took place in 1997, and half of them were graded races. With his racing days behind him, Fukukitaru became a breeding stallion, but had little success. Of his 27 foals, only 5 of them would ever be able to win a race, but none could replicate Fukukitaru's success in the graded races. The number of foals he was able to produce started to slowly decline every year, eventually coming down to less than 2 a year. In 2008, Fukukitaru could not produce any offspring at all, and so the decision was made to castrate him and have him retire from breeding in 2010, 5 years after he started as a stallion. Machikanefukukitaru was moved to Kosuda Ranch for his retirement home. He spent the rest of his days there with Machikane Tenhoisa in the stable next door. They often played together, and the staff at Kosuda Ranch claimed that Fuku-chan would act foolishly and play pranks on Tenhoisa. When the two were grazing together, Fuku-chan would often follow Tenhoisa around for some reason. They were the best of friends. In the anime, Tenhoisa and Fukukitaru are roommates just like they are in real life. Additionally, the two of them hang out together in Fukukitaru's fortune-telling tent. After his castration, Fuku's temper basically went away. He became gentle and was very comfortable around large crowds and visitors. Since his retirement, Fukukitaru would get about 200 visitors per year, believing that they would receive good fortune from seeing him. Even his voice actress from the anime and game, Iori Nita, came to visit. Fuku-chan would even let people pet him and eat the carrots they offered. The rancher said he was excellent at providing fan service for his visitors. On July 31st, 2020, 10 years into his retirement, Fuku-chan went out to the pasture and laid down to take a nap in the glorious sun. Sometime later, the staff at Kosuda Ranch called out to him to come back to the stable, but no response came. Thinking that he was asleep, they went out to check on him and found that he was no longer breathing. Machikanefukukitaru had peacefully passed away in his sleep at the age of 26. They believe that his retirement days at Kosuda Ranch were very blessed. May he rest in peace.
あなたがこの手紙を読んでいる頃には私はもうこのお店にいないでしょ。
もうあなたに占いは必要ありません。あなたはもう立派な逃げ馬娘です。私は流浪の占い師。また新天地へ向かいます。名将怒涛と共に。もう会うことはないでしょう。さあ行くよ。お体に気をつけて。待ちかね福来たる。福来たるさん。
Thank you so much if you made it to the end of the video. I really hope you enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed making it. Sorry it took me a while to get this published, but I did manage to make it in time for the 5th anniversary of Fuku's passing. If you like this type of content, then please leave a like or comment down below who your favorite Umamusume character is It would really help me out. Thanks again for watching the video. See you next time. Bye.